hired him 100 years ago to find out if your father was cheating on me. He never did find anything.
Well, he can't be very good then.
Don't get up. I just find the supplies because I'm a private detective. Gene Parmesan, how are you doing?
Gene! Oh, Gene, isn't he the best?
Gene was far from the best.
Mexico. You get the country for free. The city, that's going to cost you.
Party, and then I'll go to Mexico. I guess that'll be my quality time with my son.
Mexico.
Yeah, Mom's PI found the stair car down there.
Gene Parmesan?
Right here. I counted. Come on.
Lucille was suspicious that Job was up to some sort of power grab.
Gene Parmesan, Lucille Bluth. My son is trying to get me out of my house. Gene? It's just some idiot with balloons.
Oh, is it?
I want you to keep an eye on my
I
son.
didn't ask you to come with us is because of your chicken impression.
Oh, yeah. I was all, go, there, remember? Go.
Hey, get off of me.
Americano, eh? Just like me. Gene Parmesan, how you doing?
Gene, what the?
And Tobias gets medical attention.
Thank God, a new doctor.
I've got some bad news. I'm Gene Parmesan. How you doing?
He got me again!
But I did overhear that he's bleeding internally.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Next Issue Podcast.
Let's start off on a downer.
Yeah, man. But you know,
Martin Mull always makes you laugh, though.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah, but not anymore.
We can go back and go back. There are people who don't even know his comedy albums from the 70s.
this guy. I mean, so
Yeah.
for anybody catching up, watching, welcome to the Next Issue Podcast. We're gonna start on a bit of a downer, like Jeff mentioned. I put something together because Martin Mull passed away. I believe it was 2 days ago on the 27th, but we didn't hear about it till yesterday. And as you can see, a lot of my exposure to his stuff was in the probably from early 2000s forward, peaking really with Gene Parmesan from Arrested Development. Like, I thought that was one of his most incredible roles, along with Jessica Walters, of course, who also has passed away since. My goodness, I love watching those clips. They're really funny. But I think my first encounter of Mr. Mull was in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, because he was the principal. He was Mr. Kraft.
Oh, wow.
I'm going back through his IMDb. I think probably he was in The Simpsons. He did a lot of stuff. But can you guys give me some highlights from Martin Mull?
Fernwood Tonight.
Yeah.
He was the bad guy in Mr. Mom.
In Clue, is he the detective in Clue, or is he? No, he's not.
Is he Colonel Mustard?
He might be Colonel Mustard.
He is Colonel Mustard in Clue.
Okay.
He was in Jingle All the Way. He was in Roseanne. Those are his known 4 credits in IMDb.
Isn't he in a lot of the Christopher Guest movies?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like one of the Christopher Guest people.
He's the narrator of A Futile and Stupid Gesture, the comedy doc about National Lampoon.
That makes sense.
And it has funny stuff in it because it even mocks itself in the film. So it's not just him like doing voiceover. He's doing it like Ron Howard in Arrested Development.
Gotcha.
He also was the voice of Vlad Masters in Danny Phantom. If anybody's a Phantom, Danny Phantom guy.
I know pretty recently, because we just watched it, the show Not Dead Yet he was in. And it's a little bittersweet because he is the person who dies in the first episode, but his ghost kind of keeps appearing a little bit throughout the series. So, and he's great in it. Really not a funny role, honestly. So
interestingly enough, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch is what he was most recurring on. It was like 73 episodes.
Oh, wow.
As the principal, which makes sense because they were in the school for a long time. And then it's Roseanne, like that's the other one that's like pretty big.
Yeah.
with the number of episodes, but I mean, he did everything. So, unfortunately, I think maybe at the end you guys can recommend some of his comedy albums or something like that. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, I wanted to address it at the top of the show because it is a big loss. Unfortunately, oh yeah, he's the radio DJ in Jingle All the Way. That's right. Oh my God, that's right. And then Chris, yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you for all the laughs, Mr. Mull. You'll be missed. Unless you're gonna reveal yourself in a Gene Parmesan type of way.
Oh shit!
Can you?
So we don't have Jessica to react to it, and that's the best part of it is the reaction.
Yeah,
they'll be. They're making jokes on people now all together again. So, all right. So on today's show, we got a few things. It's a packed show. We were going over the schedule and we'll try to fit as much as we can in there. But for this show, Jeff, producer extraordinaire, as we were running out of topics to talk about, as we were running short on topics yesterday, he put together a bracket of. Oh, that's a pretty big bracket. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize how.
It's a full bracket. It is a full.
All right,
let's go.
So let's get started. We're gonna do a bracket of the best. We're gonna decide on the best comic book event. So Jeff put together all these brackets. Hopefully, they should be pretty straightforward. And then we'll just vote. If we have a tie, we can always go to the chat. If there's not enough people in the chat watching, we'll just toss a coin. So
I'm going to tell you after this week, it's not Blood Hunt.
That's not fair.
That's not fair.
It's not on the list. The list was made before Blood Hunt came out. So
okay,
here we go. We're gonna start hard. I don't know how you rank these. I don't know what the criteria was for you, Jeff. But we're starting off hot.
Man,
Crisis. How do you even pick the other one?
Yeah, exactly.
I think for the interest of time, if we're all pretty sure about one, we'll just go through it, and if we're not, then we'll do a little bit more discussion. But this one has to be Crisis. So Crisis versus Inhumans versus X-Men. Have you guys read both of them?
I've read Crisis, but not Inhumans versus X-Men.
Yeah, same. Okay,
It's
so
just,
we're just gonna go with Crisis on this one. Yeah, this is only an interesting time. I didn't realize there was such a big event.
Please come to
veto power.
What's that?
Do we have a veto in this one?
Only in the first round. So in the first round, only in the first round we have a veto. We each have one veto where we can say, "Screw your votes. I'm letting this one go through." So
I made this during the N64 event. So there are 64 64 different events.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wow. All right.
Nice. Okay. Next we have Spider-Verse versus Empire. Empire's pretty recent. I feel like Spider-Verse has got this one in the bag.
I'm with you on
I would say Spider-Verse.
It
feels like it's more important.
Yeah, it spun out all those films.
Yeah.
Although Empire was good.
I enjoyed it.
Underrated.
It's one of the better things that our friend Dan Slott has done with Al Ewing in a little while.
So we hear this is Operation Galactic Storm versus the first crossover between the Justice League and the Justice Society. Crisis on Two Earths, I believe it's called.
Oh, okay. Do you want to kick us off, Jeff, since you know a little bit more about these?
Well, Crisis on Two Earths is the first thing that introduces the multiverse in DC Comics, and Operation Galactic Storm took place in space.
I think we're going DC. I think we're going DC in this one.
It's almost as if I asked AI to tell me about the event. Okay, yeah.
I'm going to go with the Crisis on Two Earths.
Although, man, you could really say that this multiverse thing kind of ruined comics.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have had the previous Crisis story without it.
It's true.
But then we also wouldn't. Yeah, we would not have had to deal with Heroes in Crisis, though.
Yeah,
big matchup here. Heroes in Crisis, and the King in Black I feel like this one's maybe a little bit more up for discussion.
I don't know anything about either of these. I assume King in Black is Venom.
It is Venom.
It's the Venom, the god Null.
And then what's Heroes in Crisis?
It's everyone gets therapy.
It's by Tom.
It is, but it's Tom King, and it just kind of has panels of different heroes and villains who have come together to decide mental health is very important for both of us. So there is a special place you can go and get therapy, and it's them dealing with stuff they've gone through. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's interesting, but King in Black is fun because
I'm gonna kick things off, I guess, on this one. I'm gonna say King in Black.
Yeah,
Jeff.
King in Black. King in Black.
I
hate Heroes in Crisis.
I'm outvoted. I was gonna say Heroes in Crisis just because it sounds interesting, but
I mean, if you want, I don't hate Heroes in Crisis like a lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean they got Beetle and Booster together in there.
It's really the editorial tampering that really messed with that a bit. Okay. Oh my God. Superman, Worlds at War, and Avengers versus X-Men. Who wants to get us started on this one? Clay, go ahead.
I'm gonna take our Worlds at War.
Interesting.
I've never read that. You got a quick pitch for it?
Yeah.
It's McGinnis art, so that's really that's
the whole reason.
That's I mean, it's.
You could be fooled by a cover. This could be not the same as the interior.
Now I've got the trade behind me, and I just remember his art standing out. And A versus X was just such a cluster. I could barely remember what it was about.
So
it was the precursor to the Inhumans versus X-Men.
No, it's a precursor to Bendis taking over the X-Men line.
Okay.
I will say it was my first event when I started collecting comics like regularly.
Yeah.
Like AVX Zero is one of the first things I bought.
Aww.
So I'm gonna go with AVX for sentimental reasons. And also I haven't read the other one, so I mean I can't really go for it. Jeff?
So I think our Worlds at War is the first time, or one of it was like mid 2000s. I want to say it's the story where Zod comes back and tries to bring Krypton back, and then Earth gets involved, and so it's a big Superman crossover event. I do remember it being very good when it happened, but I don't remember like the details about it. I do remember being excited for AV. I'm gonna go AVX.
All right.
That's where you get Namor versus Black Panther 2. That's cool stuff.
There's some really cool matchups there.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember the matchups from that because Chris Botchlo did the White Queen Black Widow, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Rogue Black Widow.
I'm gonna go for Avengers versus X-Men just because I'm a sucker for anything with versus in the title. So.
You're in for a treat, my friend.
I figured I would be.
Ooh, ouch! This is tough.
Yeah.
Is it though?
Oh
well, it is because I will say World War Hulk is better, but Fear itself is a fraction book. So, and I always love his stuff, so it's tough to pick against him. But yeah, World War Hulk is just fantastic. It's the best Greg Pak.
I think so too. I think I'm like Planet Hulk better, but yeah.
Oh yeah, Planet Hulk. This leads into it, but it's like
this is after Planet
I kind of like almost lump those two together.
It really feels like it's all one thing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's one. So, Jeff or Josh, any dissenting opinions, or are we Hulk pilled?
I'm Hulk.
I'm good with Hulk.
I like Fear itself. I like Fear itself though, but like Hulk is
I'm genuinely hoping this comes down to Crisis on Infinite Earths and Secret Wars.
So I don't know if Joe in the chat is saying that having JR art, this is a good thing or a bad thing. I think at this point in time, I think it was a good thing.
Yeah,
was this a very good thing?
Was this before all his faces got really square?
Yeah, I think no, I don't think so. But man, he draws such a great mustache in Thunderbolt Ross. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey, if there was a John Romita Jr. comic in the 80s or 90s, I always bought it. His stuff was solid.
If it's inked by Klaus Jensen or Scott Hanna, I'm gonna pick it up because they really figured out how to kind of make it all really work.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going World War Hulk.
Yep.
Alrighty. Ooh, Rise of the Midnight Sun.
Oh, finally one I know.
Rise of
Fall
the-
of the Mutants. Fall
All right,
of the
Josh,
Mutants.
we'll start with you. Follow the Mutants.
Fall of the Mutants.
You just love seeing
Absolute
X-Men die,
banger.
huh?
But that's the thing is, like they said, like X-Men will die, but they didn't. They just got critically injured and came back like a year later.
They got sent
Well,
to
it's
the-
comics.
I
I mean,
thought
they comic died.
Yeah.
But they did die.
Yeah, but Nightcrawler was like in a coma.
No, I
and-
mean, to the general public, they were gone.
They went through the
Yeah.
sea parallax, right, and ended up in Australia, man.
In Australia,
They died in Dallas.
They died at the
Reunion Tower.
no,
Reunion
well,
Tower.
there's that. No, at the mall. Fuck, what's the mall with the
The Mall of
North,
America. the-
North Park,
not
Galleria.
North Park, the Galleria. Like, I'm
Oh.
pretty sure there's a sequence of dinosaurs at the Galleria. Am I misremembering this?
I'll have to go look.
I've been meaning to reread Fall of the Mutants. It's actually in my Amazon wish list.
Might be a nice thing to revisit. Okay, so I think we're all pretty squared away with Fall of the Mutants.
Hey.
Oh, Clay, no?
Midnight Suns was awesome back then. If Morbius had any tread, it was from back then. It wasn't from anything more recent. The Midnight Suns was an awesome book back in the day. I think we're not giving it enough credit because those were just fun books. Like rereading the new ones coming out, I remember the old ones, and it just kind of popped into my head. Fall of the Mutants is like, big changes coming in this books, and it doesn't. It just puts away characters away for a while. That was it for me. So I always don't really look on that one too fondly, especially what they did to Nightcrawler and Kitty.
If Clay chooses to use his veto, he has to say it's Morbin time.
Oh fuck! I can't do that. Follow the Mutants.
I was about to say which of these had a video game adaptation because that would be Fall of the Mutants, but actually Midnight Suns did come out. So
Well, it's Midnight Suns with a U. So
it
different.
is. You're right.
Yeah. So
good point. And it's not based on that, as far as I know.
yeah, it's based on a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Although
Wow.
the blood-
Can we get a graphic of Superman beating the shit out of that 80s Beyonder? Like, this is no contest right
I
here.
feel like the only thing Secret Wars 2 has going for it is that Spider-Man teaches the Beyonder how to poop. And that's it. And who knows? Superman might have pooped too when he died. I don't know. I feel like that's a thing that's supposed to happen.
That
to people,
happens.
so.
That'll happen in the James Gunn universe. They'll ask Superman, "How do you poop?"
That's right. Oh,
Yeah,
luckily he's
but
got a.
even if Superman pooped when he died, he's not wearing all white. See, that's the issue.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Is that why he came back with an all-black outfit to prevent that from happening again?
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, we're going with the Death Superman, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's no contest. Oh, now this. Wow.
Oh shit!
Fuck.
This is probably like a 6 and 7 seed.
I mean, you guys know my feelings about Hickman's Secret Wars, so I'm pushing for Evolutionary War.
Man, this is tough. I really love Secret Wars.
I do, but it came out so poorly, and that is editorial's problem, and that's what makes me hate the book more than anything. It had cool. I mean, if you think about it, it had like cool spin-offs. You had like a Planet Hulk that had like a Steve Rogers type in it. You had
the Battle World stuff was so much fun.
Battle World stuff is so cool. And it didn't need to be a part of Secret Wars, but it was a standalone. But Marvel fucked it up, so it's tough to pick it.
All right, so I'm guessing. So my vote's for Secret Wars, but Jeff,
I went Secret Wars.
Okay, so it looks like
I've flipped through some of these Evolutionary Wars, and I think it's more nostalgia that pulls me into the Evolutionary War than it is like the actual stories.
Yeah,
because they're very of their time.
Is the Evolutionary War just this one annual that we're seeing on the thing?
It's a crossover annual event.
There's back when they used to do them.
They're doing them now.
It was just that summer, right?
They're doing it again.
Yeah, it was just that summer.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it looks like we are tied. We're tied. Does anybody want to use their veto before we either go to chat? Let us know what you vote for. Does anybody want to use their veto, or am I gonna have?
I don't know.
I'm gonna leave it up to chat. If chat answers, I can
go to the
take
coin.
this fate.
I kind of want to use my veto but it's like a Marvel book versus a Marvel book. It's just on how it was presented. And
there's a whole other side to the bracket too.
Oh, all right. Well, Joe said Secret Wars in a landslide.
All right, Chris. Yes, Chris as well.
All right.
Chris. All right, Secret Wars.
Oh, that's
But I also want to. I'm also curious their age. Were they alive when
I wasn't alive
when Wars came out? So
I mean, I wasn't alive when. Well, maybe I was, but I wasn't buying comics when Evolutionary War. I still found it. So, Secret Wars it is.
All righty.
Ooh. Infinity War, the Infinity War versus what is this? Suicide Squad
Legends.
It's Legends.
Legends.
Legends is the John Byrne DC cross. It's like a John Byrne centric.
Oh, with the Suicide Squad first appearance, apparently.
Yeah.
I think. Gotcha.
I remember Legends, and it felt very much like they were trying to do their Crisis, like the next big Crisis crossover, and it was not good. I think I even bought the first issue, and it was just like, man.
I loved Legends. It was when I was on my John Byrne run. He was doing DC. He had done Man of Steel. Now he was doing all these different DC characters, so I was hyped for it. Infinity War is what, Ron Lim?
Yeah.
So
and
it's still written by I'm blanking.
Holy shit.
So I haven't read Legends, so I think I gotta go Infinity War. Also, I'm a big Adam Warlock stan, so that's my other thing. So
this is a Oh, sorry, Clay.
No, I was just saying, I hate when I put in a comic title and it pulls up the movie, and I just go, no, I want the comic. Jim Starlin, who did all the cosmic stuff that we're just having a brain fart.
Yeah, me too.
He even appears in Infinity War.
I feel like both of these are like follow-up crossovers that were never as good as the original, right? I mean, again, Legends is not a follow-up, but it felt like it from a consumer perspective, right? So, I don't know. I'm honestly fine with either on this one.
I'm going Legends.
Well, I pick Infinity War. So, Jeff?
I'm going to go Legends.
All right.
I'll go Legends.
All right. Sounds good.
Poor Jim Starlin. He's just so pissed off somewhere.
We have Onslaught, X-Men Onslaught, and Judgment Day, Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals. Judgment Day. That's a pretty recent
it's
comic.
A pretty recent event.
I'll say this. I don't think I've ever gone through the whole Onslaught thing. The way I met Onslaught as a character was in that Marvel vs. Capcom arcade game.
Yeah.
Where he was like one of the final bosses.
I was hoping you'd be like, I met him at a 7-Eleven.
I mean, it was probably some kind of grocery store or something, so you're not far off. So I'm going to go Judgment Day on this one because it's the one that's it's so good. Kieran Gillen is so good too.
Yeah. The art is unbelievable. It's a fantastic book, but I actually read it after it came out because I was able to find all the issues at Half Price Books.
Oh, wow.
So that's probably the best part is like I didn't have to wait for them to come out. I was able to pick them up and only picked up like 2 tie-in books. And
the tie-ins were pretty cool too, like just being like having the Eternal judge everyone individually. That was cool.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff.
I'm gonna go Judgment Day. Judgment Day was a really good crossover event.
Same.
And of course, Josh picks the Onslaught because he loves 90s X-Men bullshit.
Oh yeah, I am here for every X-Men crossover.
Pocket universes, baby. Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
This is easy.
I think so too, but it's still a good matchup. I would recommend both of these.
House of M is so good. I mean, the art, the story, No More Mutants. I mean, that's kind of an iconic line.
Yeah. Cool.
Forever Evil.
It was fun, I think, until it petered out a little bit at the end, but the concept of it was definitely fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One thing I
think
remember the
I think
most
it's a
from.
fun
Oh, go ahead,
matchup.
Jeff. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's a fun matchup, but I agree with you. Like it's House of M.
Yeah, Forever Evil had like a Rogues tie-in that I read where it was like they kind of come together and they're not really sure what to do, which is the only fun part I remember of that run.
All right, House of M.
Ooh.
It's an easy pick. Come on, War of the Realms by Jason Aaron is fucking amazing. I love that, and it's going to be in the top 2. I guarantee you.
I think if our bracket was the criteria of whose helmet has the most like girth,
Girthy helmet.
That'll be next week. Who has the best helmet in comics?
1 to 5 girth helmet. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say War of the Realms only because I've actually read that one. We read that ages ago, right? And it was a hell of a lot of fun. So
yeah, I mean, you had Punisher going through the tunnels of New York, fighting trolls and shit. I mean, that's awesome.
The one thing I'll say about Executioner Song is, I wouldn't be mad if they adapted it on X-Men '97.
I have a soft spot in my heart for Executioner's Song. I'm not gonna lie. Now I think War of the Realms is a better overall event.
Jeff, you a big Strife guy?
I love Strife. I mean, it's so confusing.
So Strife is just he's the most confusing. I mean, who can explain Strife without looking up his wiki?
So Strife is the clone of Nathan, but initially they thought he was Nathan and that Cable was the clone.
So he's the Madeline Pryor of Cable.
He's the Madeline Pryor of Cable.
They Madeline Pryor Cable.
Maybe they should make a family. Okay.
Ooh.
Another pretty recent matchup. So this just finished like this year.
Beast World.
Beast World from DC and Extinction Agenda, which is this the one we just saw adapted into 97 too?
A little bit, bits and pieces, kind of, sort of. Well, I think they did it in the first series, definitely, because that's when they all went to Genosha.
Oh, I'm thinking of E for Extermination. Sorry, yeah.
That's E for Extermination.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Extinction Agenda.
I am too, just because I don't know. I didn't read the Beast.
I like Beast World. It's fun. Tom Taylor's writing it. I think it's got I don't even want to spoil it for you. I just go read it. But
all right, Tom Taylor, you had me.
Extinction
Agenda is like the first like Jim Lee X-Men crossover event. Rob Liefeld's in there. It's like their first kind of like, we're just about to leave for Image, but they're definitely on the rise in sales and stuff. But I really like Beast World. I like Beast World just to be different.
Just to be contrarian, I am not a fan of that whole era of X-Men, and I really dislike anytime they have extinction with X dash rest of the word. So I'm going to go Beast World.
So I think we're tied. So we're going to put it in the chat. Joe, Chris, anybody else watching?
I'm going to say these kids don't even know Extinction Agenda.
You can't just assume all our viewers are kids. I specifically mark all the videos not for 18 and under.
I also, what kids are gonna want to watch 3 Gen Xers in like one?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
That's right. They're probably watching MasterChef.
There's no more Saturday morning cartoons, so all there is us.
All right, I don't see any action from the chat. So
Clay kept telling me to get off the wall.
Heads is gonna. Oh wait. Oh,
Beast World. See.
There we go.
See what we're doing here.
Chris coming in.
Thank you, Chris.
It's a good crossover. I really liked it. So
it is a really good crossover.
Ooh, that first one sounds cool. The Final Night. I haven't read it though.
Final Night is really good. I did enjoy
Final
that.
Night is good.
But you know me, I gotta go metal because that's my boys. My boys.
Final Night is the beginning of the rehabilitation of Hal after goes
like as a
crazy.
character or literally in the comic?
Like as a character.
Oh, okay.
Like he was, because he'd already destroyed like all the other Green Lantern. He'd become, I think he'd become Parallax. And the sun goes out, and he uses his power to reignite the sun.
Got it.
Basically.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Final Night.
Okay.
I really dug that. There's a lot of great Clark and Bruce moments in that.
Jeff?
I do like Final Night, but I'm gonna go Metal.
All right.
Style over substance.
Josh?
In this
Excuse
case,
you.
yes.
I've never read Final Night, but I'm gonna go Metal.
Veto. I'm gonna use my veto.
There you go. There
Too
you
late.
go. It happened.
I'm gonna use
you
my
go back?
veto and put Final Night through. Final Night's a better story. I've read both.
How do we
I
get
think
back?
if you hit refresh, it'll keep going. Hopefully.
Oh, did I lose it? By
No,
not.
hold on. Whoops. How do I? Oh, match up.
It shows
just try
Final Night,
try
yeah.
hitting refresh on
There we
the
go. I got it.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I knew there was a button. I just didn't remember where it was.
Oh man,
Ooh,
this
Death
one.
Metal and Final Crisis. What the hell, Jeff?
It's DC books against.
We're gonna start with we're gonna start with Jeff so he can explain himself.
This is just how the rankings go, man. It's
All right,
not supposed
all right.
to be a cakewalk. I'm gonna go Final Crisis. Honestly, I think both of these are hot messes. But I'm gonna go
Josh?
Final Crisis. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Final Crisis.
Final
All right.
Crisis.
Yeah, same. I mean, fucking Batman. Batman has to use a gun.
Oh, there.
yeah,
it
that's
is.
right. I forgot we got to go through the whole thing.
This soon? Oh shit!
I mean, well, we got to go through this side of the bracket before we can move on.
Oh, that's right.
Do
Okay.
we have to? Maybe. Hold on. Yeah, I think we do. So
Yeah,
Okay,
I think so.
all right. Crisis or Spider-Verse?
it's Crisis. If anyone picks Spider Verse,
It is Crisis. No, I agree.
Crisis.
Crisis. I mean, I like Spider-Verse a lot too.
Oh,
No, I'm gonna go King in Black. Stop
Justice
suing.
League. Justice League.
I pick the King in Black.
I'm picking Justice League.
Ah,
All right, Clay. Seems like you're either a tiebreaker or a decider.
God, this is a tough one because you're talking about an iconic moment in DC history versus like a really great Donny Cates run on Venom and King. I'm gonna go King in Black. I love Donny Cates.
yeah.
He swung the vote.
All right, chat. King
Oh.
in Black is amazing. There we go. Joe
There we
Jenkins
go.
is at the
All right.
ready.
screw you, Justice Society.
I'm with
Go back
Clay.
to
These
your-
are kids.
Go back to your old Earth. All right. Ooh.
Oh fuck.
These are gonna get harder and harder every
They are.
time, and then we're gonna go to the other side of the bracket, and then all right. Where we at? World War Hulk or ABX?
World War Hulk.
Hulk, baby.
I think I gotta go Hulk. I think it just, yeah. I think I gotta go Hulk.
I mean, if you think about the legacy of these, World War Hulk has way more of one than
Yeah.
AVX.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Jeff, were you on AVX? Were you gonna vote AVX? So we shut it down.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter because everybody voted Hulk, so I'm gonna go AVX just for the just to make it less embarrassing. But honestly, Josh had me convinced with his argument. I was like, it should be Hulk, but I still wanted to give him one vote.
oh, God damn it.
All right. Which death was more? Which death was
Death.
more impactful?
Yeah, wait, we got
I mean,
Oh fuck.
I still knew people who thought that they were going to be living off what they were going to sell their Death of Superman for. So I feel like Death of Superman brought in the non-fans and sold over 1 million copies.
Yeah.
It's in every quarter box across America. Death of Superman is pretty big, and it's way bigger than Fall of Mutants.
And it's like one character makes you feel the same thing as like all these other characters, kind of. So.
Really, the only people that fell in the Fall of Mutants were the dumb Morlocks. So like, ridiculous.
See, okay. All of you are correct. It should be Death of Superman, but I have such a nostalgia for Fall of the Mutants because that's the era I was reading X-Men. So I'm going to be the lone holdout and pick Fall of the Mutants. but
All right, so we'll go.
it's definitely Superman.
You should. Too bad
argument.
you didn't use your veto, but it wasn't a first round pick.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, Secret Wars or Legends?
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars.
I like that Josh is trying to see how pick Legends. He's like, how do I convince everyone to pick Legends?
You know what? I really should give Secret Wars another shot.
It has great Doom moments.
It does. Yes, I totally agree. And I think what happened was I didn't realize until I read all the Marvels that it is the end point of everything Hickman had been writing up to that point.
Yeah.
I just went into it cold. And I think if you go into it cold, and this is also a knock against it, because at a certain point, shouldn't, the old Marvel way was you should be able to pick up any issue and it should be your first issue, right?
Yeah.
And Hickman was doing the polar opposite. And that's fine. That's fine. But
he writes for the omnibus.
Also, I think that logic applies when comic books, like you couldn't find that comic book because you had to go to like the pharmacy and then maybe you wouldn't find it there. Like that makes sense. Like this is definitely serialized storytelling.
You're absolutely correct. That philosophy worked when they were on newsstands, right?
Don't go pick up your comics at a pharmacy, people. Like there's comic shops out there. You can get them digitally now. You don't have to go to the pharmacy to pick up your comics.
But the spinner rack.
Yeah,
Dude, if there's a pharmacy out there still stocking comics, I'm there.
I'm going to Eckerd after this to pick up
Eckerd. Oh my god. What a flash from the past.
And he's the young one in the show.
I still got sick when I was little. This is interesting, but I think also it's no contest.
Yeah, House of M.
Probably right.
House of M is
House of M.
Yeah,
it just had a bigger impact.
I like looking at you guys' expressions because I can tell like you want to say the other one.
Yeah.
I'm the one that made it. I knew exactly how this was going to go down. So I really enjoy watching when you flip over and everybody has a little heart attack.
Ooh, this is a good one.
War of the Realms.
I'm gonna go War of the Realms only because I feel like the supplemental stuff was more impactful for me, and I read a lot of it. And I think also it's a combination of Thor and all that too. So
yeah, remember when Giant Man was running around they had a spinoff that was just Giant Man and some of the giants from Asgard.
Yeah.
I mean, I have more thoughts on Beast World but I don't want to spoil it because you haven't read it. Like, so, but yeah. It's.
I feel like going forward though, Beast World probably is going to have a little bit more impact. Well, it's still we're still feeling the impact in DC Comics right now.
That's true.
Comics.
I agree with that.
I probably have 20 comics hanging in my house, and one of them is from War of the Realms with Spider-Man, Power Man, and Iron Fist, and they've decapitated a giant. That's how cool War of the Realms is.
If this was a creator bracket and we had to put Jason Aaron versus Tom Taylor, I would have a hell of a time picking.
I know it's tough. They're both awesome, but I
would
love
have a hell of a time. So you're right. We're doing a creator bracket later on this year. All right, War of the Realms. Is it War of the Realms? I know, Jeff. I'm so.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This is what we do the show for. We have to get to the bottom of these things.
Like, I went and picked this up because Jason Aaron wrote it, and it had a Scotty Young cover, and Josh loved it. So, Jason Aaron
it's so good, Josh. Yeah, if you haven't checked out the little clip out video, it's really good. I also read it the next day.
Awesome,
fantastic.
So glad.
I talked about it on I Read Comics when I was on there the next day because I had just read it. All right. Which finality brings us to
Final night,
step on the bracket?
Final Crisis, Final Night. I'm gonna keep pushing that book because Final Crisis was a hot mess.
No, that's
Final Night for me.
Whoa, I'm a Final Crisis boy. So Josh.
Oh God, I'm gonna go with the Final Night.
I hate you guys. So, this is ridiculous.
Oh shit! Oh
do you
shit!
guys remember that time Zatanna one?
That was hilarious. In hindsight, that was hilarious. Okay, we have Crisis on Infinite Earths versus the King in Black.
Crisis.
I'll pick King in Black just so it's on record. So whenever I see Donny Cates again, I'm like, look, dude, I voted for you.
I had your back, Donny Cates.
It wasn't me. It was all the other guys.
If Donny Cates doesn't be like, well, look, that was Crisis, okay?
Exactly. He has to recognize the
if we had Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, he'd probably be like, yeah, it's Crisis. Although I don't know.
Oh.
Stegman always plugged his Venom run as better than Watchmen, so.
Damn, there's a clip.
Hulk.
Damn.
Oh, really? I was
going Hulk.
Death of Superman.
I'm gonna go with Superman.
I'm going with Superman.
Josh, did you say which one? Sorry.
Yeah.
Superman. All right. Look, Clay, I love the other one too. It's like
I know.
Thin.
I know. But you just think about the marketing that DC put together to kill off Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman all at the same time. And it was like, well, it was a marketing ploy. And they did sell a ton of books. But that World War Hulk book, I'll go back and reread more than I'll read The Death of Superman.
I mean, to be fair, we weren't as jaded with marketing back then when all that came out.
That is true. I mean, well, I distinctly remember because it was on all the news, like your national, like normie news, and all the comic readers in my life, myself, we were like, yeah, he's gonna come back. I mean, no one dies forever.
It's been adapted twice in animation too.
Yeah, and it had a standalone novel.
Oh yeah, which I have somewhere around. I just had it the other day.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know where my book here.
Oh, you got it? Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Damn.
That bad boy.
All right.
On this one, I'm going to go with House of M.
Me too.
Jeff?
House of M.
All right. No more Secret Wars.
Screw you, Hickman.
Or that version of Secret Wars. I'm assuming on the other side.
I'm assuming it's on the other tier. Absolutely.
Realms.
Right. I like that you've been pushing. You couldn't let me have Final Crisis versus War of the Realms because you've been pushing your stupid Final Night, and then immediately betray.
Love it.
It's hard. It's hard because of the matchup, but Final Night is okay compared to War of the Realms.
Yeah, War of the Realms is excellent.
I love that. And that made me kind of love event books again. So that's why I have such a big love for that run.
All right.
It was expensive as shit. Final Night was just 4 issues.
Man.
We have 3 more votes before we move to the next side of the vote. So, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. This is big, powerful stuff.
Death of Supergirl versus Death of Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Here's where I'm voting from. Here's where I'm coming from. I think Death of Superman, it's a much easier read, and overall, just a better put together comic book. I love Crisis, but it's a freaking mess. That's why I'm voting for.
It is not a mess. You can't call it a mess. It just includes everything.
Crisis does have a high bar of entry.
It does. Now, but
very high bar.
Here's my counterpoint. Which one of these had lasting impact? And that is Crisis.
Yes.
I think Death of Superman too, because it kind of gave us this whole
they still reference it.
Yeah, and it showed us that you can kill someone and bring him right back later on.
Well, not right back. It was what, a year?
Yeah.
It was a long time. But
how many universes were wiped out in Crisis that of characters we never saw again?
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like Crisis was okay. Here's where I'm coming down. Which of these was a ballsier move? And it's Crisis.
I think killing your maybe number one character is ballsier.
Well, no. It's not, because every fucking comic reader I knew was like, he's gonna be back.
Yeah.
Nobody believed it. But in Crisis, like, that's like we're starting over. We're wiping out everything. Starting over.
Yeah, I mean, when you see this Supergirl death, I think we're split.
Are we split? Okay, so Jeff and I are Death of Superman, and okay, So, chat, if you're still there.
Hey, kids.
Yeah, wake up. Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Well, these predate the kids, both of them.
I know. So it's like it's interesting to think which one.
These kids might have read that Superman. Oh, Crisis. We got Chris.
Oh, nice.
What? I like that.
All right.
Crisis
it is.
Excellent pick.
Well. You reap what you sow, you Clay.
Yeah. Realms, baby.
No, I'm at House of M. That's
House of M.
Josh.
Don't do it, Josh. War of the Realms is better.
Is it?
I have read War of the Realms. I know of House of M, and I feel like War of the Realms is fun. So I'm gonna go War of the Realms.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Joe also in the chat would have picked Crisis. We're gonna need you guys again to pick between
Chris,
War of the Realms or House of M.
Who do you like more, mutants or Thor?
And Joe and Chris need to be at their keyboards. They're like, "Oh, which one is it?" Because whoever answers first, that might be who Daniel goes with.
That's true.
Whoever has the answer that I want.
House of M.
What the? I take back everything I said about you, Chris.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
This is why we play the game, gentlemen.
Yep.
This is what we've been preparing for a whole lot.
Oh God, you know what? And my earlier comment or my earlier argument falls apart with both of these.
Immediately.
I'm still going to go.
See, Chris and Joe split their vote too. So Chris just wins on speed alone.
Yeah, you got to just be quick. You got to be quick. All right, so here's what I'll say. House of M has what I consider my favorite single comic issue of all time, and it is issue number 7. Yeah, 7, where Wanda says no more mutants. Like, I gotta go House of M. There's not a world in all these infinite Earths where I would pick Crisis.
That's fair.
I'm gonna also go House of M. I apologize, Crisis heads. But again, I think at the end of the day, Crisis has such a high bar of entry.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah,
it's
not. I mean, exactly to your point, Danny. It's not an easy read. It's not.
Also not an easy
but it's fun. I mean, Watchmen has a high bar for entry, don't you feel? And that's a great read.
No, I feel like Watchmen eases you into it. Yeah. Whereas like it kind of ramps up to that ending. Crisis just starts. I mean, the opening pages are just planets getting obliterated, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? It's planets being obliterated and a dude crying, and you're like, I don't understand what's happening.
And kind of like Watchmen, House of M builds because you wake up with a Wolverine that remembers everything, and that sequence of him getting out of the helicarrier. Damn, I'm gonna go read House of M. All right, so did we all vote? Josh, did you vote? For House
I voted for Crisis, but we're waiting on Clay.
Oh, okay.
I'm voting Crisis.
Oh,
so we're split again.
All right, Chris, Joe, whichever one of you guys gets there first.
I mean, who was sacrificed in House of M versus Crisis?
What do you mean? There was only 198 mutants after that. Ooh, Joe coming in hot and quick with the Crisis vote. All right.
Crisis.
Now.
Oh my God.
Wow, that is a 1 seed versus a 16.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Here's what we're gonna do. We have so much stuff going on that like a good comic book, we're gonna leave you guys hanging with the second half of the bracket.
Oh, come on.
So you're gonna have to tune in and come back. I've saved where we are. I've saved our progress. I didn't realize this was gonna. So I didn't realize I hadn't seen it, so I didn't realize it was like a full 2. Like it would have been a 2-hour bracket.
Yeah.
To get through it all.
No, that's a good.
I'm gonna go Unity. Oh.
I want to hear the argument for that.
So please come back. Not next week, because next week we're talking Jaws and shark movies and stuff. But I think in 2 weeks we'll come back and we'll finish the other side of the bracket. So all right.
Could we actually hang on? I'm trying to check something. Could we move it? Because I'll be out.
You'll be out. Okay. We'll do it whenever we, at least the four of us, maybe college will jump in and ruin everything. So
then 0 hours probably over there, and he fucking loves 0 hour.
Oh shit, you're right. Fuck. Got 0 hour.
There we go. There it is. There's your cliffhanger, like a good comic book event. I was raised by the best.
Joe gets it.
What a cliffhanger! That's right. These are all decisions that are being made in production on the fly. This show isn't planned at all. Well, it's a little planned, I guess. All right.
We had the chart.
Next up, we are going to. What time is it? Okay.
10:52.
Okay, so we have time to do our. We're gonna do a quick comic review. If I can pull up the assets here. Oh, there we go.
You better be careful which pages you show.
Yeah.
I already censored them. I was very aware that might be the case because I know Maria Llovet's work. All right. So our friends over at Image sent us a really nice preview of an upcoming book. It's called All the Things We Didn't Do Last Night. Which is, I mean, quite a fun title, first of all. This is with story and art by Maria Llovet, and there's some really cool covers we'll see later on. But this book is actually a collection of a 3-part story that came out on the Image anthology books that they did last year for their 30-year celebration. And in this issue, we have Criminals to Lovers, author Llovet returns with this sexy one-shot compilation. In this book, you'll meet Mamen, a young art historian who has become a jewelry thief because of trauma from the past. I mean, I get it. And Damon, who is a hitman who's tired of his bosses. Oblivious to their secret lives, they meet cute and promise to go on a date, but fate unites them before they planned as both witness each other's crime. And that really tells you everything you need to know about this book.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I will say, I was gonna say it's a content warning, but as far like there's just adult content in here, like a little bit of nudity and stuff.
A little bit
of nudity and stuff, and then face full of. Anyways, read the comment.
Very spicy.
Yeah, it's pretty spicy. So you've been warned on that. Now, Josh, you didn't get to read the book, but you read Crave, right?
Which is Crave, yeah.
Right, same author. So
yeah,
I think at least you can give your thumbs up on the author there.
Oh yeah. The art is great as always. I liked Crave a lot. I felt like it needed one more issue, but that's the complaint for most miniseries these days.
They might do a part 2.
Oh really?
Yeah. I think the way the issue ended, it was like, is it over?
True. Yeah.
I think it said Finn, but with the question mark.
So, but no, I mean, I kind of flipped through the first few pages of this, and it looks great. It looks interesting. So
yeah. Okay, Jeff, we're gonna start with you. What did you think of the book?
It was a good book. Like Josh, I really enjoy Maria Llovet's art. It's very loose and stylized, but still, it's not all over the place. It's very much her artwork.
Nice.
The story itself is very simple, I think.
Yeah.
I see what you did.
It's a great one shot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. As you can see, the stickers shouldn't go there. Like, obviously, that's not part of it, but I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. Although I don't know if cartooning art would get us kicked off, so I'm not gonna risk it. Okay, cool. Clay, what about you? What did you think of this book?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great fun. I wanted to compare it to like a Catwoman story, but I really can't remember like her iconic thefts, and it's usually all the background stuff with her. This was all within it. It's all paced really well.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of a perfect one shot.
It really is. It really comes together, even though it's like three little chapters of a story. And like I would be paging through it and I'd be like, oh, I'm already at the end of the first thing. And then we move on to the next, and it's very simple. It reminds me of like kind of like Strangers of a Train, but what if they, got together afterwards? Something like that. And it's a really kind of fun little mystery that unravels in front of you very quickly. So yeah, I quite enjoy this. I'm a big fan of Llovet's work.
Yeah, and if you don't know it, this is a great introduction to it.
Yes, this will give you a great idea. She's done a lot of art on the Faceless series that Brian Azzarello writes every once in a while. If you're familiar with that.
Oh,
these two?
Yeah. What? Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, from Boom.
Yeah, Clay has them. So
well, my wife has them, and now I'm gonna read them.
Oh yeah, you should. Like I said, great work. And then I wanted to also plug, because Llovet has a book coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, because it wasn't she doing books in Spain, and so now there's two kinds of her books, things that are being translated and done in English and stuff that she's doing actively for like Brian Azzarello and
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's
and like Crave,
a combination of that kind of stuff. And then when is this? There's a book coming out in September called Violent Flowers, which is also all by Llovet. So I like when an artist just puts the full vision on it. Like this is my book. This is what I'm doing. So
that's a great title.
Yeah, cool. All right. Any last thoughts on this book? I know this was kind of a short. It's short because we all really enjoy the book. I think that's the main takeaway. So highly recommend if you can get to read it.
Yeah, if you don't know her work, this is a great starting point.
Yeah, that's a great point. I would say even more than Crave. Like I feel like this is just like a one and done. It gives you a sense of her approach and her style. So
it's a really good precursor to Crave because you can kind of see what kind of mysteries he puts together. So all right, well, here's some covers. Two of them by Llovet, one other one by somebody else. I don't have the name, but
yeah, who's that? ORE.
Very cool. All right. Next up, let's move on to our next segment. I think we're doing great time now that I decided to only do half of the show. We're going to do a little silly thing because this show's silly anyways. Jeff, you want to bring us in a little bit with the video you shared while I pull it up?
This is earlier this week, Toys R Us unleashed a new commercial completely made by AI, artificial intelligence, and the internet went a little bit crazy over it. I myself am not a big fan, but we're going to take a look at it. We're going to discuss it. We're going to pick it apart and talk about all the horrible things that the future holds for us.
Yeah, who was the Toys R Us kid here?
Oh,
yeah. Okay. And then I worked at Toys R Us. I loved it. I built toys.
You're like a Toys R Us grown up.
Yeah, I built toys for kids during Christmas, and so that was one of the funnest jobs I ever had.
That's
so,
awesome.
Toys R Us.
When did you work for Toys R Us?
In the early '90s, while I was in Denton, going to UNT.
Nice.
That was a little earlier than me. I worked at Toys R Us in 2014 during the holiday season. In the electronics section.
Yeah, so if you were a kid in the Louisville area and you got like a bike or a swing set, I might have put it together.
Nice.
Oh, you worked at
So
that one.
if anything happened to you, if your bike set fell apart, might have been Clay. All right. Now that you're older, that back pain you have whenever you get out of bed?
Yeah.
That's Clay's work. All right. Let's take a look at this ad from ToysRUs Studios. You're right.
Yeah, that was
Studios.
Even just from this shot looks. Why is this car like long car? You see the car?
Yeah.
That it looks like it's just two cars merged into one.
Or why is there a car on the sidewalk?
There's a tree growing out of the sidewalk on the right.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's
Or
for
the
planning
street
in the city
sidewalk.
park. All right, let's take a look at this dumb thing.
Do you ever wonder how Toys R Us and Jeffrey the Giraffe came to be?
Not like
The
this.
son of a bike shop owner, Charles Lazarus, had a vision that would go on to change toy stores forever.
Getting real Polar Express vibes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The greatest toy store there is, but I don't wanna grow up, 'cause maybe if I did,
Is he gonna die?
We got a code, Alex.
Toys R Us was the dream of Charles Lazarus. May all of your dreams come true too. And the dream continues on.
Oh my
with
God,
Toys R
that's
Us at every Macy's.
Super scary.
We know you're
Oh.
watching.
We got a code, Alex.
Toys R Us now. I feel like Jeffrey's the killer in this commercial.
I did stumble on that Toys R Us in Macy's by accident. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" So
Did
It's like a kiosk.
yeah, no, yeah, it is. It's like just a tiny little corner of Macy's with toys, and it was not well maintained.
Yeah, I thought they were going to have their own little like shop inside the Macy's, like a Starbucks inside a Target, but nope, it's just a kiosk.
I don't even know why they put this together.
It's such a weird. I mean, so there's 2 points where, to me at least, it becomes glaringly obvious it's AI. One is with all the bikes in the background. Did you notice there's just random wheels?
Just wheels without.
And then the other is when it shifts and the kid's head is down and he looks up. There's this weird jump, and I think that jump is like them trying to, like the AI trying to animate his head coming up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's very strange.
For me, there's nothing in that commercial that couldn't have been shot in real life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you can feel like we've all seen the trailers of like them taking an old song and remixing it and slowing it down and making it creepier for a horror movie or whatever. And so you can see the AI like pulling from these things where it's like, oh, people love it when, we slow down. So they take the I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid, and they creepily put a like piano song behind it. And I'm just like, it's so terrible. Yeah.
Jason Jordan Peele's Toys R Us ad.
Yeah.
I always think of Mad World at the end and how it's slowed down for Donnie Darko. And that sets the theme of Donnie Darko at the end. That it made me creeped out at the end that this kid was going to die and Jeffrey was going to kill him.
So here's a few of my favorite comments from the video. This is like if I had a nightmare about Toys R Us. It's got some sort of awful oily sheen on it.
Yeah, I know, that's a good point.
This looks like it's gonna be a great horror movie. I just threw up. Let's see. I hate to think that a human thought this was a good idea.
It would be a very non-creative human. This is all just someone who goes, I have no budget.
This is my fear when it comes to this thing, is because these are all like mid-level executives that are coming up with this stuff, and they're not creative people at all. Like you can put a red block in front of them and they'd be like, oh yeah, amazing, whatever, because that's just how they're programmed to think,
Exactly.
And so
maybe
it's just if they're the people in charge of this going forward, just the schlock we're going to be fed for the rest of our lives. Like
yeah, it's gonna
Here's
be
a few
shit.
more real quick. I keep expecting
Martin
Pennywise the Clown to show up. Isn't Toys R Us out of business? Let's see.
I mean, it's just playing on nostalgia to say, hey, remember when you could walk into a toy store and shop? And would that be cool for kids now that just order shit from Amazon?
Why does the kid have different glasses? Okay. Then somebody put actors. The Tucker Gerbs. All right. There it is.
That is
Well,
so creepy.
in the spirit of this ad, we're gonna do the next thing we're gonna do is very silly and maybe a new thing that's gonna go ongoing. So, because we were joking around with, well, what if like we couldn't decide on a topic, so I asked ChatGPT, like, okay, what should we talk about? Right? Give me some topics for a podcast that's about comics and pop culture, and I sent the list over to the guys, and they were like, well, we already done a lot of these, and so nothing kind of jumped out at us. But then I asked the Chat GPT to write a 5-minute script for 4 people discussing one of the topics on the list, which was from page to screen, the best and worst comic adaptations, which is just your BuzzFeed article of the month.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be host number 1, Alex, on our script. You guys pick a name, I guess. I'll
take Jamie.
Okay.
I'll take Taylor.
Okay, cool. And then I guess by default, Josh, you get to be Jordan. It's at the bottom. So don't look at the one look at the first one, because then Jeff did another one that we'll probably do next week.
Okay.
And please read these as wooden and flat as you can.
Okay.
Give us your best AI impression. All right. So this is what if AI wrote the next issue podcast. This is what you get. This is what you would get. Let us know. Do you like this better than what we're actually doing? We'll pivot to what the audience wants. All right. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a hot topic: comic book adaptations. From the big screen to TV, we've seen some incredible adaptations and, well, some not so great ones. I'm Alex, and joining me are...
Hi guys, I'm Jamie. Can't wait to talk about some of these epics and not so epic adaptations.
What's up, everyone? I'm Taylor. There's been a lot of debate about which adaptations truly did justice to their comic book origins.
Hi, folks. I'm Jordan. Let's jump right in and start with the best adaptations. What do you think, Alex?
Absolutely, Jordan. Let's start with the gold standard, The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan's take on Batman is often hailed as one of the best adaptations. Jamie, what makes it stand out to you?
The Dark Knight just nails it with its gritty realism and complex characters. Heath Ledger's Joker is legendary. The movie respects the source material, while bringing something new to the table. Taylor, do you agree?
Definitely, Jamie. Another great one is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It captures the essence of comics with its unique animation style and heartfelt story. It was like watching a comic book come to life. Hey, Jordan, what's your take?
I completely agree, Taylor. It's visually stunning and emotionally resonant. Speaking of Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi trilogy also deserves a mention, especially Spider-Man 2. It balances Peter Parker's personal struggles with his superhero duties perfectly. Alex, what's another adaptation that did well?
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're Alex.
Alex died.
Rebooting. The Avengers deserves a shout out. It was a groundbreaking moment in cinema, successfully bringing multiple heroes together in a cohesive and exciting way. Now, let's switch gears and talk about some adaptations that missed the mark. Jamie?
Well, we can't ignore Green Lantern. Despite Ryan Reynolds' charm, the movie was a mess. Poor CGI, weak storyline, and it just didn't capture the spirit of the character. Taylor, thoughts?
Yeah, Green Lantern was a disappointment. Another one is Catwoman with Halle Berry. it strayed so far from the source material that it felt like a completely different character. Jordan, any other mishaps come to mind?
Fantastic Four 2015 comes to mind. It had potential, but was plagued by production issues. Oh, and a lackluster script. It didn't do justice to Marvel's first family. Alex, want to wrap it up?
We need to reboot Jordan.
Yeah, we do.
Oh,
you're Alex.
Jeez, guys.
Sure thing, Jordan. It's clear that while some adaptations hit it out of the park, others fall flat. It all comes down to respecting the source material and understanding what makes these stories and characters beloved. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more pop culture content.
And let us know in the comments which comic book adaptations are your favorite ones and which ones you think missed the mark.
See you next time.
I love the extra finger.
All right.
I'll play our AI outro.
Also, feel free to adjust the script to better match your host's personalities.
Tuned in late, but apparently just in time. You're right, Mike. You got it just in time.
An AI
Letter
script
Kim.
does our show.
I hate it here. Take a bow. That was amazing. Yeah, I feel like I missed the mark, but I think I'll eventually nail it. So, I don't know. This might be a little segment we do every once in a while.
Can we call this segment AI?
AI.
So,
AI.
it's really funny.
I call it Will Smith spaghetti.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, good. Great. It looks like we have a little bit of time left. Actually, we got a lot of time left. So let's start with.
We could read the second one.
Let me see. I really want to save it for the next show.
Okay.
I want to break these out, but yeah, I took a peek. It's pretty good. Also, I think it's gonna be easier if I just focus on host one as opposed to an actual name.
Yeah.
Because I was so amazed by all three of your performances that by the time it got back around to me, I was lost in it. Also, we did that show already, and I think we did it better.
Yes.
We did come to a lot of the same conclusions as the AI, which is very interesting.
What if the AI watched that podcast and was just pulling?
That's what I was thinking. Like, what if it just as it scrapes the internet for content? Like, our video's out there, right? So and we were very clear about worst comic book adaptations. So I don't know.
Well, I did nearly lose it when the AI written script was criticizing the poor CGI in Green Lantern.
Yeah. It is alive. It knows.
You're right.
Hey,
my uncle worked on that movie.
Really?
The AI is my uncle. No, the AI.
Oh, okay. I thought your actual uncle.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
You know what though? Props to the AI for self-awareness. All right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Although I also think that's how Skynet starts. I haven't seen films in a while. All right, cool. Back on business. I'll get things started. Then I'll let you go, Clay, because you have to step away in a second. Let's talk about non-comic book things first. So this week, Max and Hulu, I guess, dropped 3 episodes of Suicide Squad Isekai, which is a new anime adaptation of the Suicide Squad. My goodness, it is beautiful. It's amazing. I really enjoyed it. Clay, did you also watch it?
I watched the trailer for it and was like, why?
I mean, why? It's amazing. I don't understand your question.
Well, I've seen 2 Suicide Squad films. I've probably pretty much seen what was in the trailer, which looked like the movie. So I was just like, oh, so they just took what we've seen and they made it a cartoon so other people will watch it.
But the twist here is the isekai part. So for those that are not familiar with anime and manga nomenclature, isekai is a subgenre that means portal fantasy or another world. So in these stories, your protagonists always end up in a different world, usually a fantasy world. And this is the premise of the Suicide Squad show is pretty much, what if you grabbed a bunch of people from the Suicide Squad and you threw them into like this D&D fantasy world? Like, how are they gonna get around? And I think they picked some. Obviously, we have Harley, Deadshot,
Killer Croc,
No, it's King Shark.
It's King Shark. That's right.
King Shark, Clayface, who is like the most actor Clayface I've ever seen. Like, he's really good.
More than
like,
Harley's Clayface.
It's a very different take on it, but it's very similar on like how highly Clayface thinks of himself. And then we also have Peacemaker, who the reason they give him a reason to wear the helmet is because his face would distract others from the mission. And so before he puts on his outfit while they're being transported, he actually just has like a sack of flour or something on his head to cover his face. I didn't realize it was Peacemaker until he started talking and said like his whole mission's about peace. My only complaint is that they only dropped the sub version. The English version is not around, but I'll probably keep watching it. I had a good time with it. I thought it was really funny. So I thought it was really fun, and I can't wait. There's 3 episodes. I only watched the first one, so I'll probably watch the two other ones after this. Also, I hate binging stuff, but I couldn't stop myself from finishing The Bear season 3.
I just went through the whole thing yet. Okay.
Oh my god.
Is it good? Because apparently the first episode really rankled people.
I really like that they are taking chances because of how successful it is. They can try stuff and like just really go for it.
Yeah, the holiday episode was something that paid off big time. That was huge.
And sometimes those creative choices don't vibe with everyone. But overall, I really enjoyed the season. I mean, I enjoyed it so much that I watched it within 3 days. It's 10 episodes, around 30 minutes each. I think the last 2 are 45. But it's a pretty good season. It's a good season. I have a full spoiler-free review on the channel if you want to go check it out. Except for the cameos. I do go into cameos, but I give you plenty of warning because there's always fun stuff in the show. So, yeah, I love that show so much. Next, let me talk about. I watched the first episode of Orphan Black Echoes, which is a follow-up series to Orphan Black, which I've never seen.
Oh.
You've never seen Orphan Black? Oh, it's so good.
I haven't either.
I hear great things, but no. But this show stars Kristen Ritter, so I wanted to check it out because of her. Also, our videos for Interview with the Vampire have been doing really well, and this is also an AMC show, so like, why not? I think the show's fine. I don't know that the first episode was the strongest debut. Maybe if I had seen Orphan Black, it would be better because I would put a little bit more things together. But I feel like I get the premise overall. It's just So, and then the last thing I want to bring up, that's House of the Dragon episode 2, season 2. Oh my god, this show! None of you guys watch House of the Dragon?
Mm-hmm.
God, you guys are missing out on some good shit. I love it.
Burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice, shame on me.
I have a question for the group that Daniel has placed in my head. Who is making the best television right now? Because is it HBO? Is it AMC? Is it FX? Not Hulu. FX. I think those are your top 3 contenders.
Oh, I agree completely with you there. I don't know if we agree on in the ranking or the order, but those 3 channels are making the best television outside of Dick Wolf. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, hold on.
Apple. That's a fair point.
Apple.
Mike's right. I really like all the. I think Apple's just not as consistently dropping stuff. Like they're not. It's like they do one thing and then they wait a little bit and they drop another thing.
They're also very quiet about their drops. They're not nearly as publicized as the others.
Yeah, they don't. Which is wild, but I guess they just kind of let the product speak for itself.
I feel like this deserves a deeper dive later on.
Maybe. Josh, Clay, any quick thoughts on that?
I'm trying to think of that. I mean, HBO put out a show we watched last night called Phantasma.
I hear a lot of buzz.
it's really great. It's like something you've never seen before. And so that's what I kind of love is with all the content, all the entertainment kind of being bought up by different companies, seeing the odd little things that stick out like this are fascinating. And I think Emma Stone is producing she is producing this, but I know she's producing other things. I want to watch the stuff she's making because it seems to be the coolest shit out there. And this show was so odd and different. And it only had, I think, 3 or 4 episodes that we watched, but it was so good because it's about a guy and then it just kind of goes off on a tangent. You meet someone and then you follow their story. Then you come back to Julio and then you follow someone else's story. It's so different and odd and cool that you just want to keep watching to see what's going to happen.
Interesting.
And to pitch for FX, sorry, I didn't cut you off. But like you got Atlanta and Dave, What We Do in the Shadows.
Shogun.
What We Do in the Shadows is so good.
Oh, Shogun, yeah.
I like the show Clipped, the one about the Clippers and their racist owner.
The Bear is one of the top 5 shows. I mean, that's a fantastic show.
So I just read an article. So I've been meaning to watch The Bear ever since season 1. I have never seen it, but I just read an article about how heavily the creator leans on REM for the soundtrack, and I did not know this. And I'm like, well, fuck, I need to go watch The Bear because I'm such a big REM.
It's one of those great soundtrack shows.
Yeah. I mean, it actually has a Taylor Swift song that hits within the story, and it's so good. It has such a great moment. It's
awesome.
so fun.
All right. Well,
very similar to like James Gunn's Guardians. Like the music is very intricate to the whole story and the mood and everything. So yeah, The Bear's great. And what's that?
I was going to say, I call that Scrubs. Like Scrubs used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Scrubs was kind of the originator of that, like using, I mean, it's been done forever, but like music to kind of help out the emotional part of the storytelling.
Yeah.
Scrubs was always doing that stuff.
The last thing I'll say on the Game of Thrones House of the Dragon thing is a big difference between this show and the previous show is that this is based on a whole book that's completely finished, and I feel like that's where Game of Thrones might have gone off the rails for a few people.
They thought they knew better than the author.
I mean, the author doesn't know because he hasn't put out a book, so obviously he doesn't know where it's going. So
I think he probably took a few notes with that ending.
Oh, for sure. That might be one of the reasons the book is delayed, but I think that's
Does House of Dragons also use REM?
Yes.
I'm in.
So much. You've never seen a show do Losing My Religion while 3 dragons are flying around. It's fantastic stuff.
That actually sounds badass. I would totally watch that.
I really did just
everybody.
hype myself up,
They just play Everybody Hurts after the dragons attack, and everybody's picking up. And like,
now I want to see a House of the Dragons trailer cut to that song. So, all right. That's all the stuff that's non-comic that I watched because I haven't got a chance to go to the movies this week. Hopefully, I can go to the movies to watch day 1 of what's the movie called? A Quiet Place. Yeah,
and Alamo Drafthouse is coming back.
Oh yeah,
coming back.
They're gonna open.
Yep,
we did
So
it.
glad.
Kind of.
I just am worried what Sony's gonna do.
I know.
It. It's just not gonna be the same.
I hope you guys like going to Alamo Drafthouse and only watching Venom.
Well, you know how all the Alamos kind of had a theme. You know, we're going to see the Morbius theater, which obviously Daniel's like excited to go to.
Yeah, like I'd go
Morbid
to that.
time.
It's Morbid
every
time.
night is Morbid night.
Give me the Madam Web, the Madam Web saloon.
At the Madam Web one, they just give you unopenable Pepsi cans. That's the whole.
Similar to Clay, I will go get married at the Madam Web saloon in the Alamo Drafthouse. Hit me up, Dakota Johnson. Let's go. You can either marry me or perform the ceremony. Whatever.
See, I would think that you would hit up the Carnage Bar and Grill.
Oh man, all their menus around Sony-based properties.
Yes.
Woo. Okay. All right, Clay. Before you step away, give us a few of your things you've seen or heard.
Well, just the just the plug I did for Phantasma. It's
Phantasma?
just
Okay.
yeah, it's just an amazing show. I mean, it's from the guy who did
Problemista. Right?
Well,
That movie?
Los Spookies.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Did that too.
The main character is the same as the Problemista film that came out a little while ago.
Yeah, and there's tons of guest stars. Like it's I will give one away because it's an amazing casting. Tilda Swinton plays water from a toilet. They got Tilda.
That's the most Tilda Swinton thing I've ever heard.
It's so weird.
I love it.
But it just has
Is
these
this
weird
the-
moments and great casting.
Is this the show? I keep seeing clips of who played the Riddler in the last Batman movie.
Paul Dano, yes.
Yeah, so Paul Dano is with the puppet kind of thing.
Yeah, so there's like a part where they talk about they love watching the show that's very much like Alf, and then they go into the show, and Paul Dano is the dad in the show with this like Alf-like creature, and so they're having all these sitcom, and it's almost like what was the Adult Swim bit they did about the neighbor that was too many cooks.
Oh, too many cooks. Yeah.
This has that same level of insanity because it's them, and then something happens within the show that doesn't happen in Alf, and then there's a time jump. It's really fucking weird, but I was in for it, and Paul Dano commits to the bit so well. Nice. It's worth seeing the first episode, and if that doesn't pull you in, I don't know what kind of show you like because this is wild.
So it's not about ghosts at all.
No.
Okay,
It's really about
ghost.
This guy who's a creator that has to prove he exists because he doesn't have like a driver's license or anything. So he has to have and so he has this person who's his agent that shows up constantly, and she's a weird character. Part of it reminds me of like odd characters that would show up in like a Dan Clowes book. Like, it's really fascinating. I totally dug every episode we watched, but yeah, that when Dano shows up, man, it just gets real weird.
Nice.
My kind of weird. I went back and watched Valley Girl because we were able to score a copy on VHS, and it was fucking amazing, and I love that show. I mean, that movie. It has one of the best soundtracks of the 80s of all time. It is top tier Nicolas Cage. It's the Gen X Romeo and Juliet.
Okay. Is it tough to score a VHS copy of Valley Girl? Like, it's not.
It's tough to score some VHS of stuff you want to see. There's a lot of shit that's just you see over and over.
It's all Jingle All the Ways. Yeah.
A lot of Titanic, a lot of Die Hard sets, Die Hard 1 and 2, Die Hard 1, 2, and 3. I mean, VHS was putting out a lot of stuff, but like the horror stuff that we're really trying to dig for is like eBay stuff. So we're really kind of searching for hard to find horror that maybe didn't get a wide release. Gotcha. But I love Valley Girl because it has a great soundtrack. Deborah Foreman, E.G. Daily, kids. She does voices. She does voice for Timmy in what is that?
Fairly Odd Parents?
No.
No,
not.
That's what I was thinking.
Rugrats.
Oh, Rugrats.
Oh, Tommy.
Yeah, that's E.G. Daily.
Gotcha. All right.
Those are the only two things that I've watched that are worth talking about.
Alrighty. Wait, you can't both step away at the same time. I guess. Go ahead, Jeff. I'll talk to Josh over here because Clay's got to step away too.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
Well, here we are, Josh.
I actually have stuff I want.
All right. Oh shit.
Oh, sorry. No, there we go.
Remove the wrong person. There we go.
But I didn't read any comics because
How dare you?
I haven't been to the shop this week. Yeah, so I watched two. Whoa, go ahead.
I'm gonna invalidate all your votes in the bracket.
Yeah, I know. So I watched two kind of just very random things. One I'd seen before, but in rewatching it, I think I'd only watched maybe the first half of it. Yeah. And that was a documentary called The Power of Grayskull. It's a history of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Ooh.
And it actually, Microsoft had a big TV series sale, and so I was able to pick up all of the classic He-Man cartoon for like $15, and it came as a special feature. I think you can watch it on Prime, though. I was trying to figure out where it exists, but anyway, it's a really good documentary about just the history of the toy line, but then it goes into the cartoon, and then it ends towards the end, like the last third is really about the movie. And the thing that stuck out to me the most about it is listening to Frank Langella talk about playing Skeletor, and just how much he loved doing it. You think like there's this big actor they got to play this like toy character, but hearing him talk, he was just like, he put a lot of thought into it, a lot of purpose. He really enjoyed it, and that comes across on the screen when you watch that movie. So I don't know, he's the standout best part of that film.
I've seen this. I think I saw this when it was on Netflix, maybe.
Oh, it may have been Netflix.
Yeah, it was a while back. It was definitely a while back. But yeah, that was the part that I obviously all the toy stuff is really interesting because it was really more about like, it wasn't about let's make art, let's tell a story. It was about let's sell toys, right? But when you get to the movie stuff, it's like there's so many issues, but Franklin Joe just like, okay, so it may be on Tubi. Everything's on Tubi apparently, the biggest streaming service in the world. But yeah, it was really interesting. I that might be worth a revisit.
That the toys that made us, or
the power
of Grayskull, the definitive story of the Masters of the Universe.
It's good. It's good. And the other thing that kind of stood out was because He-Man ultimately was not based on a pre-existing property. Kind of a lot of the iconic stuff that came out of it was just because they weren't shackled by the property, right? Yeah. So, for instance, like the fact that they designed Castle Grayskull, but then all of the people working on it were like, well, is it for the good guy or the bad guy? They're like, well, let's make it for both. Who controls it? So then you got like the two sides of the power sword. It's just like shit like that. To me, feels quintessentially 1980s. Like the 80s was such an era where like new IP and new ideas were coming out, and today we just seem to rehash everything. So I don't know. That's me, old man, shaking fist at clouds. But
I agree, because I do wonder, we're kind of caught in this nostalgia loop now.
Yeah.
So what happens 25, 30 years from now when there's nothing new? Like, are we just going to rehash Back to the Future again? Like
exactly. Yep. And then the other thing I watched,
AI is going to do it.
Oh, right. Yeah. Jesus, probably so. The other thing I watched was just completely random, and I don't even remember how I happened across this, but I watched the 1969 film called The Assassination Bureau. It stars, I don't remember his name. Well, the person it stars you want to see is Diana Rigg. From the OG Avengers, not the British TV show The Avengers, not the Marvel comic The Avengers. She's great in it. The other main actor I did not recognize, but when I looked him up, it made sense. Do you remember in Gladiator, Proximo, who was the gladiatorial owner?
Yeah.
Him as a young man stars in this movie.
Wow.
And the thing I didn't realize that this is based on a Jack London book that actually he never completed. So somebody else completed it in the 1960s, I think. Anyway, what's really so the concept of this movie is
Is there a dog in it? First off,
no, there's not. Which again, this is not something I would ever imagine Jack London writing, but it is set in the early 1900s, kind of leading up to World War I, but they never explicitly state that. But it's pretty clear. And the main character works for this assassination bureau, which is basically a bureau that assassinates people for the greater good. And at the it dives right in. In the first 5 minutes, you get Diana Rigg, who has figured out this assassination bureau exists, and she's going to infiltrate it. And then it just kind of goes from there. And Telly Savalas plays the bad guy with a British accent, which sounds very weird coming out of Telly Savalas' mouth.
I love your baby.
Yeah, exactly. It was an enjoyable romp, I will say. Now, the last act gets a little frustrating because they basically just write Diana Riggs out of it, which is a shame because she is so good in this movie, as she is in like everything. But it's just, it's a really interesting concept. And as I'm watching it and thinking about now I do want to stress, it's not a good movie. It is a delightful movie, but it's not good. But the thing that really stood out to me was, I was like, how the hell did this get made and released in 1969? Because if you think of 1968, that was a pivotal year with a number of tragic assassinations. Martin Luther King Jr., Bobby Kennedy, like that's all 68. And as I was reading into it, what happened was the film was made in 68, and then the studio sat on it for a year because they're like, we cannot release this in this year. So it actually got released a year later in 69. Mm-hmm. But it's an interesting film. I don't know. It's hard to kind of put my finger on exactly what it was. But the one thing it does that I really liked is it uses a lot of, and I couldn't tell if they were recreating it or if it was actual like black and white stock footage that is just silent footage to like set up pivotal scenes. I don't know. Anyway, if you're just in the mood for like a weird ass late 1960s, action romp, go watch The Assassination Bureau. So.
Okay. Nice. Jeff, what did you watch?
I did see the second episode of Ren Fair on Max.
How is that?
I'm enjoying Ren Fair. There's 3 episodes out currently. I guess
there's only 3.
Is there only 3? Okay. So it's I just have the one last episode to watch then. It's very ironically, I guess, not really ironically, very Shakespearean in scope in that it's a big power struggle to take over or possibly take over this man's Ren Fair empire. This man is just King George, the man who owns the land, owns the town.
He's a real piece of shit.
He's a real piece of shit. He's just, and it's so sad because there's this one guy whose name is Jeff, who's super loyal to this guy, like loves him. And he is just getting walked on by everybody. Jeff is not a smart man. He's just so good intentioned, but he allows himself to get walked all over by everybody. And he has this kind of enduring faith that it will work out in the end for him. And you just see him, the bus coming at him the whole time.
Yeah.
But he does not. And then you have this other guy who wants to buy the fair from King George. He comes from money. His family has a lot of like investments and stuff, but he's just like your very quintessential like upstart guy who's like, I'm self-made man. Of course, like 5 minutes earlier, he's talking to his family about like getting them money so he can buy the thing. But he's all like, I've done this all by myself and everything. And I'm like, you're literally talking to your family for money. Like
he's as self-made as any millionaire or billionaire is today. They inherited their money and their family has money. He has time to just go play Ren Fair.
Yeah, exactly. And then the King George guy is just like, he doesn't give a shit about any of it, but he pretends to because there's a lot of money riding on the line. And he doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit about anybody. He just wants money and he wants sex from girls that are like 60 years younger than him.
Oh my God.
And it's just such a hot mess of a show. Like because of the people that are living these lives, not the show itself. It's super fascinating and fantastic. just one more episode left I have to watch, but
I can't wait for you to see it so we could like talk about like the ending and the resolution to it. Because
I need to sit down and watch it this weekend sometime.
We'll all go grab dinner at the Olive Garden.
Yeah, 100%.
Our Renfair episode is going to be live from the Olive Garden.
It's also an interesting little peek into like people that put themselves on like sugar daddy websites, because girls do go out to go meet this guy because he's on the sugar daddy website. He's obviously the sugar daddy part of it.
He's on 15 sites and has a guy who just manages his online dating persona.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We all need interns.
But you like in the second episode, he goes on this date with this one girl who flies it because the Ren Fair itself is in South Texas somewhere.
Yeah. Oh.
But she flies in from like San Francisco just to go on this date with this guy.
At Olive Garden.
She's like at Olive Garden. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And he's like full on like, you have real breasts, like, and then at the end of it, like after the date, he's driving home and they're interviewing him and he's like, well, these girls just don't have anything in common with me. And I'm like, how is that their fault? Like, you're the one like seeking them out. Like, I don't know. It's
so he does have real breasts.
Yeah.
Well, he gets mad when they're fake and just goes, well, we're done here. We're done here.
The other thing, a little rabbit hole, pun kind of intended, I fell down was I started the Hungarian Rhapsody got stuck in my head earlier this week. That song by Franz Liszt, the dun 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 dun.
Oh,
so I was like, it's part of a. I was like, I'm thinking of the Looney Tunes cartoon that it's used in. So I looked it up. It's Bugs Bunny playing the piano, and then I just typed in Hungarian Rhapsody cartoon. So there's a Tom and Jerry cartoon also. What's interesting is both of them are the same concept. In one, Bugs Bunny. So Bugs Bunny Rhapsody Rabbit, which came out in 1946, has Bugs Bunny playing the Rhapsody on the piano, and there's a little mouse inside the piano, and he's trying like they're fighting or something while playing the piano. The next year, Tom and Jerry Cat Concerto, it comes out in 1947, and Tom the cat is playing the Rhapsody, and Jerry the mouse is inside the piano, and it's basically the exact same thing. The two cartoons are the same. They were plagiarism.
It's a Battle LA or
100%
like
Battlefield LA.
Impact Armageddon situation.
The two companies accused each other of plagiarism. Both of them. So what happened was they both were colored in Technicolor. So the theory is that they sent in the films to Technicolor to color them. And Technicolor, like the first part, and Technicolor started sharing what each other studio was doing with the other studio. But it's a fascinating little thing to watch them. There's a YouTube clip that shows them both side by side. Tom and Jerry's, they were both nominated for Academy Awards. Tom and Jerry's won. And Tom and Jerry is known for their version of it because Tom is hitting the right keys on the piano for the song. Whereas Bugs Bunny's just like animated, but like Tom actually hits the keys that are in the song. So
whenever I read the notes, for some reason I thought it was the Bugs Bunny Barbara Seville.
Oh, right.
That's a
Which
classic.
That one,
the sequel.
That
is
one,
that the sequel? Yeah.
And the one that's Wagner. I think both of those.
Oh, the Valkyries, right?
Valkyries.
Yeah, I think both of those won Academy Awards, but I didn't know about the duel between these two. That's funny. So
easy to win an award back then. You just put some opera in your cartoons. Oh, look at that!
Hand draw it for a year.
Hand draw it. Gertie the dinosaur, baby.
Let's see AI do that.
Yes. There's the Gertie the dinosaur reference this show's been needing.
Yeah.
I, unlike Drax, have things go over my head all the time.
Gertie the dinosaur is the first animated thing. Like,
okay. I know Gertie.
truly animated.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to comics because we are running short on time. I'm gonna go through some stuff. If you guys have read it or have comments on it, wait, hold on a second. Quick comment from Mike in the chat. With my spear and magic helmet. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's a reference to the Valkyries or
the
Bugs Bunny
Wagner one.
All right. So of course I'm current on Marvel stuff. So I read Blood Hunt #4. Here's the red band variant. Now I think we can talk about Blood Hunt as a whole when the whole thing's out. Because I know Clay, you probably have some thoughts about what's going on.
Yeah, I talked to Aaron in my shop, first of all, in the reading order, Vengeance of the Moon Knight is listed after 3, but had so many other books come out that and 4 that they're out of order already for their reading list, which I hate. That is what I hate about event books. Oh, you got the Peach Momoko cover?
Of course.
Yeah, 3 was the only one I'm missing for the Peach Momoko cover because I got the red band one because that was the only one available. But Moon Knight running out of order, I don't know. It affects something big that happens in the latest Blood Hunt that we don't want to talk about or spoil for anyone, so I don't want to talk about it. But if you...
Does it spoil anything?
In Blood Hunt 4?
No, Vengeance of the Moon Knight?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the thing. It's like, why even read it, at this point? Because you've already put out like 10 other books after the order you're supposed to read them in.
Well, as somebody that's been reading all of the Moon Knight run, like I'm pretty invested in the characters that are in the Vengeance of the Moon Knight, so I want to see what they're doing too. But then also another Peach Momoko. This is the magic. I mean, listen, if you're gonna do, they know what they're doing because they want me to buy these books because the first one shot was Jubilee, the second one shot is Magic, and the next X-Men one shot for Blood Hunt is what's her name? Sword. Played by Olivia Munn. Psylocke. So like, just grab 3 of my favorite characters and put them in a solo and a one shot for Blood Hunt.
Are you opening up your red band bags?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, because I'm doing videos comparing the regular version and the other one. I'm just a little behind. So yeah, if you want to see what the differences are, I have videos for 1 and 2, and then I'll be doing 3, 4, and 5 as soon as I can. So
it's like a rib cage. That's all I can.
So, Jeff, you also read this book.
Zatanna?
How good is Zatanna bringing down the house?
It's so good. It's so good. I don't understand why it's a black label book exactly. I mean, like there's a part where she's topless, but it's like not anything that it's not really like it's the stuff where they like she's standing in front of a thing and whatever. It's like Birds of Prey. Like Birds of Prey has had the same kind of like you've seen stuff in normal comics.
I think it's more black label to avoid people like, oh, this doesn't follow continuity. She was just doing this other shit over here. Exactly like that in that. But I mean, look at that.
Yeah, yeah. On my list to pick up this week, and I just haven't gotten it yet. But I'm excited.
I got the Jimenez cover.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great.
This is the normal cover.
I think that's the normal one, which is
that's Javier Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So I haven't read Ultimate Black Panther. Fun too. Oh yeah, that is good. I like the premise too, like following her in this kind of shitty hotel that she's working at. I haven't read Ultimate Black Panther this week. I also picked up this really cool Something's Killing the Children cover, just cause I'm behind on this. Now, Jeff, I think this is also on your list. Absolute Power, Ground Zero. I picked up these 2 covers. I'm ready for this event. It comes on next week. I'm pretty hyped for it. Like, it seems very interesting. Mark Waid will always get me to read his shit.
Were you reading the House of Brainiac stuff beforehand too?
Yes, sir. I was going to talk about this as well. How Superman House of Brainiac just ended. Where's the Superman? It should be around there somewhere. But yeah, it's really interesting. So I did say when I did videos for everything, I was like, read House of Brainiac first before you get into Absolute Power or Ground Zero, because otherwise you're gonna get spoiled. Also, make sure to read Batman. That was the only thing that was like, if you're not a weekly reader, you don't know what order. Like kind of what Clay was just talking about. Like, what order am I supposed to read all this crap in, right? But it's really
they
good.
try to do a good job in Absolute Power Ground Zero to kind of set you up as to what's happening, what's happened.
Yeah.
I do feel like I missed maybe part 4 of the House of Brainiac. I don't know what issue that was, but like when I picked up 5, I was just like, oh, stuff has happened.
It was probably Superman 15 or whatever it was before this week, because it goes Action Comics first, then Superman. So
I need to take a look anyway.
And then this is the last book I've read. Actually, I did pick up Anansi Boys that we talked about last week.
That's a great cover.
Beautiful stuff. And then this is Animal Pound number 4, the other Tom King book, about the social commentary of our government and how it's burning to pieces. Very timely. This book came out this week. I love reading this book, but it makes me very sad every time. But not because the story is sad. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
All right. Ooh. I hope everything's okay over there with the doggies. But yeah, it makes me sad for a lot of real life reasons instead of that. Okay. And that's all I have. I have some more books, but we don't have to go into them. Let's go over to you, Jeff, to finish your list, and then we'll get to Clay if he comes back.
Sure. I got the last issue of Rare Flavors. This is by Ram V and Felipe Andrade. This was a 6-issue series altogether. Beautiful artwork, great story. It was this is the same team that brought you the mini deaths of Layla Starr. If anybody has read that, but what I love about this series is that there's an actual recipe in every single, like an Indian recipe in every single issue. Sometimes there's 2 of them.
That's awesome.
I've not tried any of them because they seem very intense for me. I'm more of a I can make you some hamburger helper kind of guy. But I love it when comics do stuff like this, when they're just like, here's a little something extra on the side. But yeah, the artwork in here is beautiful. It's a beautiful story about love and finding, your purpose in life and whatnot. All told through the eyes of an old demon and like a filmmaker. So
gotcha.
I picked up the second issue of Grommets. We read the first issue on for the podcast.
Yep.
That was also on my list.
This is a great issue. We get the introduction of some skateboard girls. And then there's like this cool old Taco Bell.
Oh God, yeah.
Visit.
Classic.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. There's it really made me miss as a working adult, like summertime, because the book starts off with like the main character just like sleeping in. It's a summer day because he's school let out, I think, at the end of the last issue or whatever. So he just gets up in the morning, he grabs his skateboard and he's like, bye mom and dad, I'll be back whenever. And they're like, okay, be careful. And he just like leaves for the day, and
bye mom and dad, I'll be back when I'm 18 to pick up my stuff.
Yeah, when the street lights come on, that's when I'll start heading home. And it's just full on those kind of stories. But yeah, it's like just like the first issue. They're skateboarding around. They get into some punk kid trouble stuff, and it's just a great read. And then I didn't put this on my list, but I just finished.
Hold on, Jeff, real quick. Before we get to your feral cats, Clay, all good over there?
Yeah, just one of my dogs had an episode in the kitchen. It was Digby.
Okay.
He gets confused and on the towel, his legs just start to go out, and so he can't stand.
Oh.
And he never cries, but he was crying. So I thought
we heard it. So that's all I want to mention.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
he's
great.
okay. I could put him in his crate and he calms down and he sleeps, but it's like he's blind, and so he just kind of paces around the house to figure out where everything is, and then gets really lost. So
Okay, good. I'm glad he's okay. All right, now tell us about the cats that are not okay.
The cats that are not okay in Feral. This is another great series from Tony Fleece and what's her name, Trish Forstner.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cats are out in the wild. There's a giant rabies outbreak happening all over this town, and they're just trying to survive in the rabies outbreak. It's this is a post-apocalyptic story, but with animals. Is basically, this is a zombie story for cats, is what it is.
Nice.
So
I can't wait to catch up on that. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, Clay, you want to let us know what comic books you read to close us out?
Okay,
I guess there's stuff we haven't talked about.
Yeah, I mean, really, a lot of the Blood Hunt books.
Blood Hunt.
Yeah, it's like the Doctor Strange. We discover he's two things. He's his spirit and his body that has been bitten by a vampire. So his spirit is trying to help everyone while his body's trying to kill everyone.
I had never heard of Victor Strange. Is that his brother? His dad?
Yeah, his brother.
Okay.
His brother. Yeah,
I do like that in this. I'll slight spoilers, but you see him in the first issue. We get more Doctor Doom in this latest issue, and I like it when Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom interact because you don't see that very often.
They both think they're the smartest man in the room.
It's a different dynamic than like when Reed and Doom face off against each other.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jubilee and Magic, both from the Blood Hunt series, are very similar in that both of them seem to kind of maybe return to their home and are helping people at night. So they almost have like the midnight mission concept because they both are helping like young kids that are being attacked by vampires.
Yeah.
So it was interesting that they were both very similar in that.
Different motivations, right? Because Jubilee was a vampire, so she knows what it's like.
Yeah, and she can help the ones that have been bitten.
Yeah. And I love the folklore aspect of the Magic story.
Yes.
Where you kind of get
really
like the fairy tale type of framing around it, and you're like, oh shit, it's actually really bad.
And it touches on her life before she even went to limbo, and trained in hell. It's awesome. But Midnight Suns 1 and 2, like I love that book because it just brings back memories of how great it was in the 90s. Danny Ketch, you got Ghost Rider. They're teaming up. They explain, there's a great sequence where Ghost Rider like has to look into your soul to work with you, and you live all the pain you've caused to other people.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's the Ghost Riders and Blade's ex-girlfriend, I think, hanging out, right? Their group, yeah.
Yeah, and so that little bit goes, man, I want to see Ghost Rider show up in the MCU and just have to, because to work with him, you have to expose yourself like that. And that was the coolest part because I would think Thor has caused the most pain and suffering throughout time. How would he react working with Ghost Rider?
That's interesting.
Captain Marvel Volume 1 and 2, her team up when she becomes kind of a head of state kind of figure. She's more of a desk job, but she goes into space with Alpha Flight, who have now been kind of tasked with help protecting the Earth. And it's just Aurora, Sasquatch, and Puck. They don't give them enough to do. They give them a few lines. I mean, it really focuses on Captain Marvel, which it is her book, but it almost makes Puck kind of look like this woman hungry dude. It doesn't give him much character. Aurora just, she's almost like Sigourney Weaver in Galaxy Quest. She's just there to explain some things and move everything forward. But it's great Carol. It's her trying to come to terms with not being a fighter and how she can overcome that, which really is just going back to fighting.
Who wrote that? Who wrote that?
I don't remember. It was a library book I don't have with me now. But it was, it also ties into Civil War II. So that's, the main part, the first volume is very, accessible. The second one, not at all, because like in the first one, she's with Rhodey. They're a couple. In the second one, well, it's Civil War II. He's dead in that one. So it's like you go from that into that book, and it's like, oh, you should have read all this other stuff to get here. And it's like, come on.
Wait, did he die? I thought he was just in a coma.
Well, she's holding his limp bodies, and they make it sound like he's dead in it.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah,
I don't think he fully died, but yeah, I remember him getting real messed up.
Yeah, and I think I talked a little bit last week that I had been reading Supreme.
Yeah.
I finally finished it. It's the Alan Moore run of Rob Liefeld's Supreme is Alan Moore playing with Superman's history, comic book history. He tells it from the angle of every kind of Superman story you've read, Silver Age to now. It's fun, and I can say it's probably the best Rob Liefeld book because he only does partial art in it. He only tells the modern, or at the time, the 90s version of Supreme. But as they go back, they have like Keith Giffen drawing stuff. They do it in the style of the Silver Age, the Golden Age. They do a Tales from the Crypt storyline that looks just like it's out of an EC creepy book. You know,
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I ever pick up a great Rob Liefeld book, but this is probably the only great Rob Liefeld book. Like it is the best because even his Deadpool isn't the best Deadpool that's out there. There are other guys who've written him better time and time again.
Okay.
But Supreme plays with all those tropes that you know. That's the funnest part of it is they can do whatever they want. And they do have that crossover, the JLA, JSA crossover happen in the book because he teams up with Eric Larson's superhero team that he was doing in the 90s with Savage Dragon. So like Super Patriot, Dart, those characters. And then they're just drawn in a different style, which is nice to see. And I think Eric Larson takes over Supreme after Alan Moore.
Cool. All right. I know we're a little long already, but before we do anything else, Jeff and Clay met this week at the Half Price Books. Did y'all have anything you want to show us from there? If not, it's fine. I don't want to take longer, but
I picked up Chip Zdarsky's collected Howard the Duck Volume 2. And for some reason, I ended up with this Fantastic Four book. And because Shelby goes, well, you handed this to me. And she goes, I thought you had like some Guardians book that you really wanted. And so I bought this Fantastic Four book that I know nothing about, but I'm going to read it. So.
All right.
I did buy stuff, but they're all on the other side of the room.
All right.
I bought a couple of albums and some stuff. Yeah.
No worries. All right. Do you guys have any recommendations? We don't have to do recommendations, but Puppet Master. Josh has something. Okay.
In here, I'll try and switch real quick, but this is inspired by Jeff's cartoon watching. I should I say this again? Sorry, I switched browsers.
Are you gonna show something? I can. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. So this came out back in the 90s. I don't know if you guys, or 89 it says. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to this, but Carl Stalling was the composer for most of like the golden age of Warner Brothers Looney Tunes. And this was an amazing, I have bought this in multiple formats. This was an amazing album they put out that is just kind of bits and pieces of what he composed. You hear him in the background, like actually like conducting the orchestra. It's great. And if you like that music from old Looney Tunes that kind of combines original composition with classical music, this is a fantastic album. So the Carl Stalling Project, this is volume 1. There is a volume 2. I don't like it as much. I say go with volume 1. So
okay, nice, interesting. All right. Does anybody else have anything?
Phantasma. I've gone on and on about it, but it's my pick of the week because you're not going to find anything like this on TV anywhere.
Nice. All right. My recommendation is going to be I got to host the I Read Comic Books podcast last week.
Nice.
So make sure to go check that out. I'll drop a link in the description of this video. And then we have some pre-recorded episodes because it's summer break. But I'll be in a couple of those, including an interview with a comic creator. So that should be fun.
Nice.
All right, we were gonna watch some crappy trailers, but we've already gone long enough, so we'll spare Clay. We'll spare Clay while having to watch bad movie trailers.
And why are they bad? The stars, The Rock, Marky Mark. Fuck those
It's Netflix,
guys.
so maybe it's Netflix that's the problem. So cool.
Oh, it's
All right.
definitely Netflix.
I don't know. I
next
saw
week-
Black
yeah.
Adam. I saw one
Next
problem.
I saw Black Adam too. Anyways, save that for our revisit of bad comic book adaptations that we'll do with AI. So,
By the way,
yeah,
my character
yeah.
of Taylor, I was Taylor Swift. I just want to make that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Excellent. They get. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put that in the description afterwards, featuring Taylor Swift. For a minute. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy this. Come back next week where we'll be talking Jaws for 4th of July. And then in a couple of weeks, not the week right after, but afterwards, when we're back, we'll complete our best comic book events bracket with these crazy guys and their awful picks. So, and maybe Kyle. So, all right. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
The most important thing in life will always be
El Bebo.
But I love you.
Simon Center, get the fuck out.